Alright, sorry about the mic quality. This is my first video with my mic, and I don't have a very good high quality sound card in my laptop. But I do have a new computer coming pretty soon, I hope, and I'm going to install a sound card that hopefully will improve the quality vastly. And make sure. Yeah, so I picked up this game. It looked interesting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, I want to start brand new. I've never even played. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much at this game. It's supposed to be like I was watching a little bit of Yogg's cast the first few minutes, and he's not going to be talking too much either. So it's supposed to be a really atmospheric, poetic type of game. So I'll try to keep my
Dear
talking.
Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
I'm going to try to keep my talking to a minimum. Flashlight does turn on by itself. That's rough. Just messing around with a few buttons, seeing if there's zooms in as well. This game looks really good so far. It's running really smooth. Getting a solid 60 frames. Why did I fall? Okay. So these buttons seem to be doing anything. Feeling this game is going to be pretty good size. It's supposed to be a different experience each time you go through it, so I don't know.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Oh no. Okay. Don't know if there's monsters or anything in this game. I don't think so. Hoping not. Can't jump. Can't run, so I highly doubt it. If I can run, I haven't found the button.
Those islands in the distance, I am sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Gonna go up here. Pretty sure it's not supposed to go this way, so I'm gonna go this way. At least I'll get a better view of what's going to be over there. Hopefully, if I am supposed to go this way. Very soothing playing this with the music going on.
A wonderful sight. The moon cresting the junction between the cliff path and the stone circle. It cast a shadow of the ridge across the beach, all the world as if you had signed your name in untidy handwriting.
There's a lot of detail in this game already just by walking through brush, whatever this is. Very...
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or a fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I went the other way now, because that looked pretty interesting down in the sand, whatever that was. But, maybe this might be free roam, I don't know. So hopefully I can come back to it later.
I quote directly, a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most godforsaken of all the inhabitants of the outer isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Not quite sure if I'm going the right way. Seems like there could be other options, but I'm pretty sure this is the main path.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage.
Oh,
My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
I want to see what's over here. Seems like there's a lot of stuff to experience if you go off the path. Hopefully it's not a waste of time. But in this game I doubt anything's a waste of time. Sure you can talk something about this information. Chemistry. That was a weird sound though. I'm gonna have to stop recording pretty soon. I'm not sure how long I've been recording. But I don't want to make my videos too big, because otherwise it's going to take forever to upload. Once I get up here, I'll stop. And I'll probably post another video of this tomorrow. I gotta go.